this party started. Okay. So Leah, if you'd like to start.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Monday, January 26th meeting of the Huron County Accessibility Advisory Committee. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 9:07 a.m. And we will start by welcoming Sue Ricketts, the newest member of our advisory committee, to the committee today. Welcome, Sue. Um, and I know that you're going to be a great contributor to our committee because I don't know if folks know this, but Sue is also a member of our local Rotary Club, and we're working together with the club, and she is very, very active in the community. So we're lucky to have her. So welcome, Sue. And with that, I am looking for an approval of today's agenda, please, if someone would like to make that motion. Sean, moved by Sean and seconded by Lori. Any comments or questions on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll call that question. All in favor of today's agenda? And that carries. Thank you. Does anyone on the committee have a declaration today of a pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll move along to approving the minutes of our last meeting. So the last meeting was November 17th, 2025, and I'm looking for a mover and a seconder to approve those minutes, please. Moved by Fern, seconded by Sean. Any comments or questions on those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor of adopting those minutes? And that carries. Thank you. We do not have any delegations or presentations today. And that brings us to the next section of our meeting, which is committee member comments. And so I'd like to open the floor to anyone who has anything that they would like to bring to the committee today. Lori.
Thank you. So I'll just a couple of things that came up at the end of last year that I thought might be beneficial to bring to committee. Not everyone will know, but we were asked to do a site plan review late in November, and the weather was not good. So I'm wondering if we should make a parameter, perhaps, that we do outdoor site plan reviews between between May and November, and indoor ones after any time, of course, but outdoor with those of us that are on the site plan review committee. Having accessibility issues getting out in miserable weather is very difficult. So I'm wondering if we should put that parameter as part of our criteria for a site plan review, an outdoor site plan review.
Okay. Thank you for that comment, Lori. Susan, you have a comment.
Lori, I completely support that. I agree with that. So this was with HCAAC. They ended up having an audit by the ministry, and there were certain spaces that were required to be reviewed based on this audit. And so they were honestly, the reality is it should have been done when the spaces were done, and that was missed. They have learned a lot. It's a new staff member, a bunch of new staff members there, so they've learned a lot from the process, and we were unable to attend that. I agree wholeheartedly with the weather based. I'm not sure if putting definite dates in there, because we could have a November that's absolutely beautiful and travel is not an issue. But perhaps we could amend the terms of reference to say something, weather dependent or based on weather conditions, et cetera, et cetera. And that wouldn't tie us into anything. I mean, these weathers that the weather that we're having in the area are so different, and we don't have any issues saying no to them. I mean, they are supposed to, they're not building the playgrounds in January, so I think this was a one-off. But I do like the idea of maybe amending our terms of reference for that subcommittee and adding something about weather. And I think I'll ask Sahil if he could kind of take a note of that.
Yep. Weather permitting?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
noted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I have one more, if I can continue.
Yes, please, Lori,
here.
go ahead.
Okay. I perfectly fine with that, Susan. I think that's fair that we just put weather permitting for outdoor site plan reviews. So through you, Chair, to probably Sahil mostly, I'm wondering if the site plan reviews, you do a wonderful report and there's so much information in them, and I'm wondering for an education purpose for the people on the committee, if once the report is ready to go out to the municipality, if it could also come to the committee so we could go over, review the actual dimensions and things which are hard to keep in your mind when you're walking through a building. I just think it would be good for us to refresh our memories and maybe go through the process again on paper. I think it would be beneficial to us. So Sahil, I'll leave that with you, whether you think that's doable or not.
Absolutely doable. Just one question. Is that for the whole committee or just the site and plan review subcommittee?
I was thinking the site plan review committee, but I think it's important that the rest of the committee, and you have outlined that very well in your reports, what we've done between meetings, but I was thinking just for the site plan review committee, just to refresh our minds on when we're going out to review the things to look at.
Yeah, I'll do that. Done.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Lori, and thank you, Sahil. Any other comments from our committee members? Michaela, I thought I saw you had your hand up as well. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, through you, Chair. I just wanted to say thank you very much for welcoming me into this committee, and I will not be far away after I leave the Huron County Accessibility Committee because I will still be on the working group. I've thoroughly enjoyed every bit of information that I have gathered through this committee. I have, although I don't live with a disability, my father was in a workplace injury, which resulted in him having a below the knee leg amputation. So I see it from a family perspective of and the kind of different it's a Monday morning and my brain is not working, obviously. I see it from what we had to do to make the home more accessible and what it did to us as girls, as teenagers as well. So I really appreciate that, and hopefully I have a chance to, kind of pop back in once in a while. Okay, so thank you very much, and we'll be welcoming Caitlin Gillis, I believe, from HCAAC.
Thank you, Michaela. And before I ask if there are any other comments, I would like to welcome Maya. I see that Maya, you've joined us, so good morning.
Yeah.
Any other comments this morning before we continue? Okay, seeing none, we will get into the meat of our meeting, if I can say that. And we have two reports from our accessibility coordinator. We have a 2025 recap and a 2026 planning outlook. So at this time, I would like to turn everything over to Sahil for the 2025 recap report, please.
Thank you. So I thought it would be a great idea for all of the committee members to sort of have this snapshot of what we've done in 2025, and just to list our key accomplishments for the year. I think one of our most significant milestones remain the launch of the Access-led program. It was the first year of the program, and I think we did fantastic. There was such a great reception from the community. 16 organizations they received a total of $15,300 to support their tangible accessibility improvements. In addition to that, our committee, our site and plan subcommittee, we did over 18 accessibility reviews. I'm sure it's more than 18. And again, these reviews, they were focused on how do we go beyond compliance, and how can we embed accessibility in early planning, and it's not just an afterthought. In terms of education and awareness, um, during the National Accessibility Week, our education subcommittee, we led an inclusive volunteer practices webinar. We had partners from all our 9 partner municipalities. We had over 15 community organizations, and the whole dialogue was about how do we reinforce that customer service standard per DA is required for our volunteers as well. Um, in terms of advisory and collaboration work, we partnered with the county's tourism team, and we formally endorsed the Access Now app, how that can be used in our community to improve accessibility information. And I think overall 2025, it sort of positioned HAC not just as an advisory body, but I also think we are the catalyst for action, because we're combining funding. We have the education, we have the lived experiences on our committee, and I think that really strengthens our standing in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahil. Sorry, I turned my audio off for a second there. So thank you, Sahil, for that report. Does anyone have any questions for Sahil or any comments on the report, please? Lori.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to Sahil. I'm just wondering about the volunteer. Will that be something that's done yearly? As I know, volunteers kind of ebb and flow, and I'm part of a couple of volunteer groups that need this check mark. So I'm wondering if it's something that others can, or is it going to be an online going forward, or how is that going to work to keep us compliant with the volunteer training?
We are thinking of doing another volunteer sort of this workshop for organizations again during the National Accessibility Week. It all depends on what the working group decides in our meeting in April, and I'll have more details then. But for now, I'm pretty sure we'll be doing something for it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori and Sahil. Michaela, I see you've got your hand up.
Oh, I was just going to reiterate what Sahil said. Yes, I see the municipalities very much moving forward with that on a yearly basis and contacting all of our organizations. I know through the work that was done with the education subcommittee last year that we've created templates and included information for volunteers on our municipal web pages. So when people are signing up to do events, that we can direct them right to the accessibility training. So we'll just continue through the working group to push that out with any organizations that are in our communities.
Thank you, Michaela. Lori, you have another comment, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Michaela, just through the chair to you. So are other groups eligible to join in that? So one here that is coming up will be our Goliath is celebrating 125 years next year. We have a large volunteer group that I would like to see them take some training. So is it available to non-municipal or community groups?
Michaela?
I'll
I
defer
saw
to
you.
Susan.
Thanks, Michaela. So the process for this is the working group. This is in collaboration with our working group. So all of our 9 partner municipalities are here. They're around this table, and this comes up, and we'll talk about what it's going to look like, the format of it. And what we do is we set it up, and then it's the 9 local municipalities' jobs to send this to the groups within their municipalities, because we don't know all of the groups. So they will send it out to the 150th group, as you say. They'll send it to whoever with the invitation to attend. The also part of that we have some templates for the training. We have all kinds of forms, education tools. There'll be the recording of the session if that's the way they want to go. Maybe they'll change and want to do an in-person session. We'll see what they want. So it is their job to reach out to everybody within their municipalities, all the groups, to try and get the volunteers trained as best they can. There's all kinds of resources available to them. So if there is a group, Lori, this group will also, our accessibility committee here will also have the invitation, and we will say, share it with anybody and everybody that you feel need it. And the recording as well. So it's basically train the trainer, and he told 2 people and they told 2 people, and et cetera, and it goes like a snowball. It was quite effective last time, where I don't know, there was maybe 20, 30 people on the call, but the video was shared by many people, and then they trained their groups as well. So it worked quite well. So I feel like we're hitting a lot of groups.
Great, thank you, Susan. I was just going to also suggest that the members of the Accessibility Advisory Committee are part of that training, because when we go to a volunteer group, it's nice to say, yes, I've done the training and I can get you that I open that opportunity for you as well. So I think that's important that the committee also be included in that training.
Okay.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Susan. Sue, please.
Just a minor question. When is the week that we're talking about for our training and whatnot and our presentations? You said there is a week where we would be talking to the public. I don't remember the date being mentioned.
Susan, if I could pass that over to you, please.
I see Sahil busy searching that out, so I know he has an answer. May.
It starts on May 25th and it goes until May 31st.
Okay, so about 4 or 5 months to plan.
Yeah. It's usually the last week of May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which is actually perfect timing, Sue, because a lot of the events in Huron County start coming in May, June, July, this summer. So it's pretty fresh in the volunteers' minds. The timing of it is actually really pretty good.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sahil and Susan. Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, then I would look for a mover and a seconder to approve the Huron County Accessibility Advisory Committee's 2025 recap report as presented for information, please. Lori, and seconded by Maya. All in favor? And that carries. Thank you. I turn it back over to Sahil again for the 2026 planning outlook and priority areas, please.
Thank you. So this report is forward-looking. It's grounded in exploration. It is meant to support our discussion today and just to plan our year. So as you know, accessibility expectations are evolving, right? There is an increased number of people with non-visible disabilities. There's higher public expectations from us and of us. So how do we meet those? So I thought it'll be great to frame this report with some guiding principles. So one of them can be proactive accessibility. Second is lived experience leadership, consistency across municipalities, making sure all our actions are practical, and then obviously collaborate through education, because that is the key here. So some of the proposed priority areas is that we continue our access-led programming, again, because it had such a great reception and impact. Another focus can be continue with the accessibility reviews, but maybe come up with some thematic reviews. So I know right now we're exploring all the libraries in the county, but maybe we can find more themes that can help strengthen these accessibility reviews. Another thing that's on my personal agenda is to create a quick reference guide and a plain language tool to support our municipalities, our volunteers, and small organizations. It can be just like a cheat sheet. Hey, 10 ways to make your bathroom more accessible, or something like that. Education and capacity building, again, remains central, with opportunities like we were just discussing about the National Accessibility Week. How can we, continue to roll out such programming for our community? Yeah, and to end, I think this report is definitely not a finalized work plan. It's more like a foundation for our discussion today, and I'm happy to receive input from everyone. What they think our 2026 should be like. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahil. It's a great report. And I'm going to open it up now to the committee if anyone has any questions or comments. No, everybody's pretty happy with it, Sahil. Looks good. Excellent. Okay, so with that, I would look for a mover and a seconder to approve
Sorry, Leah. I see, Chair Noel, I see Lori had a comment.
Oh, I apologize, Lori. I did not see you raise your hand. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. And I was late doing it, so it's my fault I just want to thank Sahil for his work on this project. I think these reports are really helpful, and I'm not going to speak for you, Sue, but it does help to give some information for new members and give them an idea of what we have done and what we're working towards. And we have such a good programs with our SLED program and our awards program also in the fall. So yeah, I just want to thank you. This is wonderful and great information and gives us a guideline to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Maybe I was a little too quick there. I apologize. Okay, I don't see any more comments or questions, so I will go ahead and ask for a mover and a seconder, please, to approve the 2026 Planning Outlook and Priority Areas as presented for information. Fern moves and seconded by anyone? I don't see anybody's hand here. Oh, here's Michaela. Thank you, Michaela. No.
Sorry, Michaela's not a voting member.
Michaela's not a voting member. Sorry. Okay.
I need a member of the committee.
Oh,
And I see Michelle.
Yes, I see Michelle's hand. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, and so I will call the question. All in favor? Excellent. Thank you. And moving right along to reports of our subcommittees. The first report I'm again going to turn over to Sahil for the Huron County Accessibility Working Group report, please.
Thank you. So the municipal working group, we met in September, and much of the discussion and the updates this committee already knows that. But I'll just reiterate that as a working group, we discussed about the Access-led grant. They were reminded of the accessibility annual awards. The draft of the 2026 accessibility plan was also discussed. In our roundtable, the highlights included that Blue Water, they shared that they're using an on-demand document accessibility remediation service. The town of Godrich reported that their accessible water wheels were used 15 times in 2025, so yay. And then in looking ahead, the working group confirmed that the leadership will rotate for 2026, and the municipality of Howick they will assume the chair role. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahil. It was a great report. Any comments or questions for Sahil on that report from the working group? Okay, seeing none, I would look for a mover and a seconder to approve the report by our accessibility coordinator for the accessibility working group as presented for information, please. Sean? And seconded by Michelle. Thank you. I apologize. It's hard for me with this little square of with lots of folks on to see everything. So if it takes me a minute, please bear with me. Okay, so I'll call that question. All in favor? And that carries. Thank you. And now we move along, and I'm going to ask Susan Cronin to please present the subcommittee vacancies and appointments part of our agenda today, please.
Thank you, Chair Noel. So with the departure of Julie Sawchuk, we have a couple vacancies on the subcommittees, and we'd like to fill those. This is for a term until, actually, we have a municipal election coming up in October, and shortly thereafter, or within that, there'll be some of our members that are also all members have to reapply to be reappointed after that election, and then we'll do the appointments of these subcommittees after that, probably in January, so in basically a year. So in the meanwhile, we have about a year where we'd like to fill these positions. We have a vacancy under the review committee. We are suggesting that Member Shepherd be moved into no longer the alternate and be put in there as a full-time member of that subcommittee. The committee can choose to also appoint an alternate, which I feel would be beneficial. And the other thing that there's also a vacancy on the Directive and Regulation Review Subcommittee. And we are recommending that under the Education Subcommittee, we add one more member, as that seems to be a very busy committee. The more we start down this path of showing people and learning about accessibility, it seems to be a very, very busy committee. So the recommendation is that we add a member basically to every single subcommittee. So I'm looking for anyone that may be interested or suggesting someone else.
Lori, please.
Thank you, Chair. Susan, do you just want to go over who is on the committees now? So we have, and my memory is not that good to remember.
Oh, absolutely, no problem. So on the Education Subcommittee, we have members Thompson, Johnson, and Shepherd. I'd like to have one more member appointed to that. Sahil and I were in discussion about the workload there. And for the Review Subcommittee, it's members Turland, Faulkner, and then Member Shepherd was an alternate. We'd like to move her in as a full-time person on that committee and then appoint an alternate. And the Directive and Regulation Review, we have member Blackall now, and we'd like one more member on that. So basically, if anyone's interested in being added to a subcommittee, I guess they can just raise their hand. I think maybe we should see if our new member is interested. I'm kind of putting her on the spot, but
Yeah.
Sue.
Yes, I would like to be part of the Education Committee if that's possible, as that would fit in nicely with my roles with CNIB.
Thank you, Sue. Is anyone else interested in, based on what I see here in front of me, um, Sue for the Education Committee, Michelle on the Review Committee, and then the Regulation Review is still, we still need someone for that, someone to volunteer for that role. Michelle?
I would do it. It'd be nice to be on all of the committees because I think they all overlap. So yeah, I would volunteer for that one.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
And can I make a recommendation too? I'm not quite sure what you think about this. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind being the alternate on the review committee. That committee itself, the learning that comes from that committee is immense. And if you can't make it, that's okay, because I mean you're an alternate, so the commitment it's just a gradual commitment, is what I'm going to say.
Learning more about how things work.
Yes.
Yeah, that's usually a good idea.
Look at that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that was easy.
It
Excellent.
was.
Okay, so what I have written down here is, and by way of motion, that we would appoint Member Ricketts to the Accessibility Education Subcommittee, Member Shepherd to the Accessibility Review Subcommittee, with Member Ricketts as an alternate to that committee, and that we would appoint Member Shepherd also to the Directive and Regulation Review Subcommittee. And I would look then for a mover and a seconder for those appointments, please. Lori, thank you. Seconded by Maya. Thank you. All in favor? And that carries. Congratulations on your appointments. And now moving on to new and unfinished business, I'd like to turn it over to Susan again, please, to talk about our meeting schedule for 2026.
So this is, thank you, Chair Noel. So this is more just of an awareness piece. We want you to know this. The schedule is a little bit different than it is in previous years. This is an election year. And generally what we try to do is get everything done prior to our new council coming in. So we want to have the annual plan done. We want to have the awards done. And everything done and ratified with this committee prior to moving on to the next year. So the dates have been moved up a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of a crunch with the awards. And I know we're looking forward to trying to do all of that in a little bit of a more condensed version. So mark your calendars for all of these, and hopefully, we can smooth the path for all of this done prior to the municipal election. That's all I've got.
Excellent. Thank you, Susan. And I have those dates in my calendar, so I'm looking forward to the rest of 2026 and looking for a mover and a seconder to approve the report by our Director of Legislative Services for those dates. And Michelle, I can see your hand up, and Maya as seconder. All in favor? And that also carries. Thank you. We do not have any correspondence to review today, but we do have the financial statements for the month ending November 30th, 2025. I trust that everybody's had an opportunity to take a look at those. And Susan, I'm gonna just, there's not much to say, I don't think, but if there are any questions, we can perhaps direct them to Susan in Lisa's absence here. And seeing none, wait, Lori.
Sorry, thank you, Chair Noel. I'm slow at the hand raise today, apparently. So I just want to discuss just for a minute in this financial statements. They're confusing and hard to figure out, but I just want to make sure that we have enough money for a SLED program to move forward. And if we do, what are the dates that opens? And also just thinking, Sue, before we get to the end of this meeting, some of it's probably been a little overwhelming for you. The ones of us that have been on for a long time have got a lot of this under our belt. So feel free to ask any questions even after the meeting. I'm more than happy if you'd like to reach out and explain some of the things that we've done or that. And there's a few accessibility dates that we try to hit, and one is in December. So that's kind of a twofold, but just my comments.
Good.
Thank you, Lori. And I will first, I guess, turn over to Susan or Sahil. Susan, you've got your hand up to respond.
So Lori, you were the one that I knew would actually ask these questions. So this report here is as of November 30th, so we don't have our final numbers on that. We did do a motion that recommended moving into the extra money into the reserves for the SLED program. We have enough money to run 2020. We're in 2026. We have enough to do 2026 for sure. We have enough to do 2027 at this time. Now, what I am going to do is, because we only gave 15,300 or something.
Yep.
300 last time. We will try to be very particular with the grants that we do get, but it is an opportunity for education as well. So if we were to stick with about approximately 20,000 in 2026 and 20,000 in 2026, we should be okay for the reserves that we have. What I am going to say is we are in an incredibly difficult budget time this year. One of the most difficult that the county has experienced. Council is giving some very tight direction for that. And I want everybody to be aware of that. So we will be trying to streamline a few things, definitely to try to help. Every single department is doing this. Every single committee is doing this. And I'm not sure if the warden would like to speak after I'm done or not on that discussion. Nothing has been finalized yet. But currently, we do have enough money to run the 2026 Access SLED Fund. That opens in Sahil, March.
Yeah, last week of March.
Last week of March. We give the opportunity for everybody to submit the grants or the applications we review, and then we will start kind of doling that out maybe like in the end of April kind of thing. So I hope that answers all your questions. I'm not sure, and I know I'm going to put Warden Heifer on the hot seat on that if I said anything different that you may want to comment on.
Susan, you made it easy because you said everything that I was going to say. I think it's very fair to make everyone on the committee aware that council is facing a different budget than we've had in the past, and we are having expectations that every department will be doing some trimming and shaving wherever they can. So just to make everybody aware of that. And again, there's some reserves ahead, and we got some working room there, but that certainly is going to be the expectation from council on every department as we look at the budget in whole. So thanks, Susan, just reiterating what you already said.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Warden Heifer. Any other comments or questions at this time on the financial statements? Okay, seeing none, then I would look for a mover and a seconder, please, to receive these statements for information. Sue and Maya, all in favor? And that carries. Thank you. We do not have a closed to the public session. The next meeting of our Accessibility Advisory Committee is going to be held on Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 9 a.m. So I will look forward to seeing everyone at that time on our Brady Bunch screen, which I love, but can be challenging. At that, I guess we're at the point of the adjournment of our meeting, please. Sue, you've got your hand up.
Yes, please. Just one minor question. Is there a written list of how to bring forward something that I would like to see, us discuss. Is there a procedure?
When we're talking about procedure, I will pass that over to Susan, please.
Yeah.
Hey, Sue. So generally, the spot for that is board member comments, and you can bring that through. But we only meet 5 times a year. So
Sure.
if there's something that you'd like to bring up, certainly you can email me or Sahil. We're always available, or Lubitsa. And what I'm going to suggest, as soon as this meeting is kind of officially done, we can have a little bit debrief on this meeting process and how it went, and if you have any questions, if that would be all right.
Yeah.
And do you have a topic you'd like to discuss right now?
Well, there's one. I asked about the traffic signals at the corner of Suncoast and Bayfield, which is located within walking distance of a mall and 3 seniors residences. There are a lot of us who have vision problems and hearing problems, and the signals are not audible. And for myself and a few others, on a sunny day, I can't see the signals, the walk signals, just due to vision problems. And I did send a request to council. They said that they would look at it, and then they said that they were going to get the Ministry of Transportation to do a study for the whole town. That doesn't help those of us who can't get across the street to go to McDonald's or to go to the mall. I know money is a function and all the rest of it, but I would still recommend that since they're redoing Suncoast Drive and that particular intersection, this might be a good time to actually get working signals there for us. And that's just my thing. Is that something that should go through this committee? And is that the right way to do it? I mean, that's where I'm sort of coming from.
Could I speak to this?
Sure.
Perhaps not as the chair, but as a council member in the town of Goderich. So we did receive your correspondence, and when it was received, rather than looking solely at the one light, we've decided to look, because we have a number of traffic lights in Goderich, and we want to make sure that we have a comprehensive review of everything so that when the time comes, we can put audible signals or make the changes that need to be made to not just one, but everything. So that's where we're at right now. That has been passed along to our director of operations, and they are doing a comprehensive review of the lights. It's not the Ministry of Transportation that's doing it. It is our town of Goderich staff right now that is sort of organizing everything. And once that report is back and we have the data and facts that we need, we'll make the decisions on the lights and any upgrades that need to be made.
Okay. Is there any sort of timeline or not? And I'm not putting you on the spot, but
I don't have a timeline in front of me right now. I didn't know that was a question that was going to be raised, but certainly I can discuss that. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is that something, I mean, as an advisory committee, and Susan, I'll pass this over to you from the Huron Accessibility Committee perspective. Can you please just share with the group what our role would be in circumstances like these?
Yeah, this is difficult. It's difficult to answer this because we are an advisory committee and that's our role. So when a municipality or when a municipality is doing a rebuild, a construction project, renovation, anything like that, they are supposed to under the legislation, have the Accessibility Committee review it. This is getting better, I'm going to say. It's also this little piece of legislation that I'm not quite sure if everyone is aware of. And this is where the working group kind of comes into play, where, they're supposed to share this information, that anything that you do, we should review it. When we review it, this is the thing that we would be capturing. And as an example, if it's an intersection and lights and etc., we would make the suggestion that they should be doing it. Now, if the intersection is not going to be reviewed anytime, or renovated or redone or whatever anytime soon, then technically they don't really need to have a comment from us, and it's probably not on their radar in any way. And this kind of goes into budget. So it's kind of difficult. We do what we can. We send the messages out to our partner municipalities. They do the best that they can. They have a lot on their plates. Sometimes it's forgotten. And it's just one more thing, and they've got the dollars and they send it out. I will say we're getting better at it. They're getting better at it. We're getting better at it. But again, sometimes it's just not there. So if we don't know about it, we can't fix it. So yes, we need to be made aware of it. And we can certainly circulate that to our member on our working group and see if they can look into it for us. And there's a chance that maybe they didn't even think about the audible thing. And that's an example for anything. So yes, bring it to this committee. Will we be able to give you a response on that date? Probably not, but we can certainly start the ball rolling, and hopefully get some kind of assistance somewhere. Again, only advisory committee. They don't have to take our recommendations, but unless it's law, then they technically do. I'm not sure if Sahil would like to add anything to that.
Yeah, well, part of it is that intersection is a highway.
Mm-hmm.
So falls under Huron County jurisdiction too, as far as I understand. We had the same problem in Cambridge on a number of things where it's a highway or it's a county road, that needs looking at. But I just wondered, that's where my question is there a way to make a presentation to this committee? And is it appropriate?
Thank you, Sue. And Lori, you've got a comment, please.
Yeah, Sue, I completely understand your frustration with this, and I will say that historically, when we do see things in the community, we do bring it to this committee, and we raise the awareness at least, and quite. Susan, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I think in the past we have sent letters perhaps to council. Perhaps we don't need to this time when we have a member of Goderich Council here in this discussion. But we have on different occasions sent a letter just kind of putting it on the lower tiers radar. So you are definitely right to bring these concerns and raise awareness, in my opinion.
Okay.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
And what I would say at this time is that it is on the town of Goderich's radar. Sue, I can certainly follow up with our director of operations to find out the status of the review that's taking place, and I can let you know that. And then sort of moving forward, I guess what I would say is I would reiterate Susan's comments, which is to reach out to Susan Lubica for these items sort of by email or by phone, so that we do have them sort of on our radar going forward, and they can be added to an agenda if that's something that is appropriate in the circumstances. Susan, do you have any other comments other than that?
No, I think that's excellent. As I said, we are advisory. We do what we can, and quite often it is just education. So what we do is we send an email to whoever we feel would be the appropriate person. And we hope that, there's some kind of response there. So.
Excellent.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Sorry to hold the meeting up, but
Absolutely not.
That's
Yeah.
okay. No problem
Yeah.
at all. It was a worthwhile conversation to have, and certainly it's a good reminder for everyone on the committee as well, of how we bring items forward when appropriate and in the proper forum. So that's great. Anything else then before the adjournment, which is the final thing on our agenda for today? Okay, so I would look for a mover and a seconder to
Oh.
adjourn, please. Oh, uh, I'm assuming that's a motion to adjourn. All right, that's great. Thank you, Jamie, and a seconder, Maya. All in favor? Okay, that's it. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Leah, I just wanted to add, I really like Wyatt's backdrop. I wish it was real.
I noticed it too. I thought it looked great. So,
Good enough.
Wyatt, you're going to have to share with all of the rest of us so that we can do the same thing when we're on our Brady Bunch calls.
Yeah, for sure.